Anyway, so let me introduce one of the board members of the Main Fork Pharmacy, Mark.
Thank you very much. I was born June 14th, 1939. So I think I can relate to the group. I think I fit in. My wife is even older. Not a lot though. But there isn't much point in me telling you a lot of the history of Three Rivers. I think all of you know it. When I moved here in 2008 and built in 2012, we had a pharmacy. A guy by the name of Steve Bennett was running it, and he, for whatever reason, decided to retire, sold it, and then the gentleman that bought it decided he didn't want to run it anymore and shut it down. Well, that affected me because I got a notice that I've now got to go to Exeter to get my prescriptions filled, and I didn't want to do that, so I ended up going to Rite Aid in Woodlake. That wasn't too pleasant, and I got irritated with them and ended up going to Foothill. Well, I wanted and felt bad that we did not have a pharmacy in Three Rivers. However, being impetuous and not researching everything, I decided, it might be a good idea to get here. Had I looked into it, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know that I would have realized that it would have cost as much as it has. I was talked to three of my kids. I talked to all four. Three of them decided to make donations to get the pharmacy started. And my three kids donated about $250,000 between the three of them.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I've added quite a bit, and we have invested somewhere close to $500,000 to open that pharmacy and get it running. And I am both hopeful and confident that we will, by May of 2028 or 2027, get the pharmacy to where it is break even. It is as you may know or not know, it is a 501(c), which is a charity. It means that no individual profits from any of the profits that go into it. It sustains itself. It is there for the benefit of the community. I wanted a pharmacy in town. I thought it was a good idea. I contacted Steve Bennett and a couple of other people and got him on the board. Steve unfortunately found a new love and he moved north, and that was the end of him on the board. So we are still, the board consists of Bob Basham, which some of you may know, or at least know his wife, Mo, Holly Peltzer, myself, and gosh, we have the accountant, my mind went blank, a senior moment again. Anyway, the board does consist of 5 people. We are looking to replace somebody for grants. It would be very nice if we could get some contributions. We have got some local contributions to the farm, which we appreciate, but at this point, most of it has been funded by myself and my family. We started out with pharmacist, some of you may have met him. His name is Harry. He's on his way to Ukraine now. He's been replaced. We have a new pharmacist who I think is much more pleasant, a more pleasing and personable presentation than what Harry had. Harry was competent, but he could be a little bit, I don't know how you might describe it, short-tempered or irascible or something. But anyway, rough. There you go. He did do a good job in setting it up. One of the problems that I was unaware of is the difficulties in getting all of the insurance contracts in place and the difficulties in getting the P&A and all the regulations. I mean, I don't know whether any of you know that the regulations for a pharmacy are greater than the ones for governing nuclear waste. Everything is regulated. I mean, just the handling of the key, the minutia involved in who has the key, where the key is, how the key is secured, the log on the key. Now, I'm a big contributor, and I'm not allowed to have one. I can't have a key. Now, I can have a key to the box that has the key, but then I have to sign a log. So, just some of the pharmacy rules that make up all of the controls around it. I'm sure there's a lot of good reasons, and some of them make sense. But when I first started down this road, my background was a trucker. And truckers and pharmacies are at polar opposites. They just don't mix. And I didn't know what I was getting involved in, but I'm glad I did. I think it's worthwhile. I would like to get the support of everybody in town to make it work. I'm also here, and I'd like to introduce you to our pharmacist. Her name is Candace. She can answer any questions that you have that have to do with pharmacy. And I can answer questions that maybe she doesn't know.
I just want to tell you that we really appreciate having a pharmacy in this town.
Me too. There's one story, and I think it really hit me. My wife had a very rough time in October, and she was hospitalized for almost a month. And she got out of the hospital, and she went back, and she ended up being comatose. And I remember standing there in the room talking to this group of doctors and asking the question. I said, is there any medical reason for her condition? And they all stood there, and there was just dead silence in the room. Finally, no. And it turned out, and Harry was the one that finally resolved it, she was being improperly medicated. She was being given 2 drugs that she needed one of them, but not both. And it was accidental that both drugs got prescribed, but her condition was dire at the moment. And Harry said, well, no, of course she's comatose. You can't give her both of those drugs. And a pharmacist is critical to our health. It really is. I want to see it succeed. I'm going to do everything I can to make it succeed. And I think we have the person involved with the pharmacy to make it be a success. And here she is.
Thank you. Yes.
I didn't think you looked like you were a senior, but I didn't know.
So, can you hear me okay? So my name is Candace. I've lived in Three Rivers for about 10 years. I moved here in 2015. I have a daughter that goes to school here at the Three Rivers school. So we moved here when she was 3. She's now 13, so she's in 7th grade. But yeah, we moved up here. I grew up in Atlanta and moved from Atlanta to Nashville, and then from Nashville to San Diego, and then from San Diego up to here. So I've had a different, been moving around quite a bit, but been stable and for here for the last 10 years. I started off with CVS, and I went and worked for the VA, and then I went back to CVS, and I moved up here, and I've been with CVS in Visalia since 2015. So now moving over here, not having to commute every day is really, really wonderful. It's great to work in town and get to know everyone, because mainly before I was waking up, going into Visalia, spent my day there, come home and do it again, so I didn't get to meet as many people as I would now. If my daughter wasn't in school, I don't know that I'd know much of anybody except the 4 or 5 people around me. But yeah, did you guys have any questions on any pharmacy, anything? I would love to see you all. Yes?
Martin mentioned the mix-up, not the mix-up, but the
drug
cheaper-
interactions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that all computerized? Or shouldn't that
It
shouldn't have happened,
No,
right?
it
Do we
shouldn't,
have
hopefully.
false trust?
No, I mean, most databases will catch. That is the importance of getting all your meds at one place. So it would be smart if you are gonna go, in each one place, try not to divide them, just so that we have a full history on people so that we can screen for that.
So will you have people, if they choose to still get one drug over here?
Yeah.
And have 3 drugs from you, but you'll know that one drug over there and you
Only if they
can
tell
have it
me.
all in your database? Do
Only
you
if they-
ask people?
Yeah, we do. I will ask them, and then if you have insurance, your insurance will know too, because it does, everything gets billed to insurance.
Because you would
if
think
use
your
it.
insurance would.
Correct, it
want
should flag
all
it.
To be,
Yes, and if you do use your insurance for billing, then it helps with that because it uses all the data from all the
should,
different places, yeah.
okay, that's scary.
It is, very much so.
Yeah.
But the answer, the example I gave, she was on a medication at home, and when she went to the hospital, they put her on a different medication. She was released from the hospital, and then when she went back in, she ended up with both medications, and that's what happened. Somehow they prescribed the one that she was in the hospital and the one she was taking at home, and that is what
Human error.
caused the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I'm happy to get on the phone and transfer any medications from anywhere. You can have your doctor send them over to us, whatever's easier for you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
One question. Who decides the over-the-counter products that are sold?
I mean,
Do you take suggestions?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We don't have a huge area, but absolutely, if it's something that's going to be sold, I will order it. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yes, ma'am.
And you'll do like Harry did where he'll say, you want me to check the insurance price
Yeah,
and the cash price,
See
and
which
then
one's
you can decide. whether you want to
absolutely.
pay?
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
that was marvelous. It takes a lot of time.
Oh, yeah, and it's, usually that would always come to my mind. If something seems really expensive on your insurance, then I would automatically be like, I should really check and see if this is cheaper being cash versus.
So we really appreciate that.
The only thing about billing something cash and not to your insurance is if you have a deductible you have to meet. Obviously, if we bill it for cash, it's not going to go towards your deductible, so it's something to consider depending on what kind of deductible you have.
And what, can you explain how some of our friends here were telling us that if they buy a drug from a different drug store, using the same insurance plan, the price would be different.
Yes.
And how can that be? And what price would you end up with?
So it depends. So your plan can be set up as a contract. So it could be something that's contracted, and that's how they determine how much they're gonna pay or how much they're gonna charge. And then other cases, you may pay a share of cost. So Rite Aid may buy that drug for a different price than Walgreens buys that drug, and so if you're paying a share of cost, it's a percentage, and so it'd be a percentage of what they paid for that drug. So that's why there might be discrepancies, because we all end up paying a different amount whenever we purchase drugs for them.
I have another question. Surprise. Do you have to learn all the insurance stuff yourself, or are you going to have an assistant that's going to be privy to all the insurance details, or you have to do all of that?
So
Or is it
Harry did a lot.
computerized?
Whenever they set up the pharmacy, there's kind of like groups that you can join that help contract with insurances, so you're not the one necessarily negotiating all that stuff, so you're kind of in a group. I think that's how he said that was, a lot of things were set up. But as far as billing, no, I mean, I'm learning how to bill everybody's insurance and set everybody's insurance up in our system.
Well, good for you for taking this on. I appreciate it.
We have Express Scripts, and I don't know, how do we find out if it's the price is better with Express Scripts or to come to you?
Through mail order, is that what you have? No, is that what you're getting at?
Well, it's mail order,
Yeah.
It's will care is what it actually is.
Yeah.
Express Scripts is just their pharmacy.
So you could call me and I could write down all of your information and I could try a claim and see what it comes back as and let you know, and then
Then we just compare it with what we get from Express Scripts.
yeah. The only thing about doing that is it'd have to be kind of close to when you're due, because otherwise it'll just say it's too soon. they won't give me any
Yeah,
permission.
thank you.
Are you gonna take a lunch break? I didn't see that on your door. today.
I try to just take it when there's a window. So when there's a window of, you know, a moment to step away, I'll know more the longer I'm there, if that's even possible. But right now, I'm just like, when there's a window to step away, I'll just step away.
You're gonna have your lunch there in the.
Yeah, we have a break room, so I just leave the door open in case I need to
Is your
step
daughter
out.
gonna have to do her homework there too?
Say again?
Does your daughter have to do her homework there too?
Not yet, not yet. I told her she could always come across the street if need be, but right now, she goes home after school. But it is nice to be right beside her, you know, if anything were needed, right across the street.
And what was your first day there?
Good school is.
School is.
Oh,
Yeah.
What was your first day?
My first day was last week, last Monday.
Wow.
Last Monday, Harry trained me all last week, so
And you live in Three Rivers?
I do, yes, sir. Yep. Been here 10 years.
Huh?
10 years.
10 years?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
So any of our prescriptions can be filled, I mean, it doesn't seem to matter what our doctor prescribes or what doctor, like if you've been sent to a specialist or
So,
something.
I would think, I don't know if I can get specialty products, like there are some drugs that are designated specialty, which your insurance may require you to use their specialty pharmacy to get, but those are usually few and far between.
Okay.
Yeah. Most things, we should be able
So
to.
your general practitioner.
We're with you now.
Yeah.
Along with our medical.
Yeah.
So.
Mhm. Should be good. Like I said, I can always run a claim and find out and go from there.
so sometimes it might take a day or so.
To get it, if we don't have it, yeah, same thing, because we use McKesson, that's what I used at CVS, we have the same distributor. So McKesson is pretty much who supplies most pharmacies, there's either McKesson or Bergen, there's really only 2 or 3 suppliers. And usually you get it a day or 2, yeah.
So it's the same question I asked Harry, but you weren't here for it, so I
Yeah.
want to ask you. What happens when you need to take a vacation or you get sick, or what's the plan currently?
We're working on that, we'll hopefully find a relief pharmacist.
So the plan is don't get sick.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I really haven't in my whole career. I think I've taken a handful of sick days. Like, unless I really am sick and I really can't make it in. I know, right? But so far, I've been very fortunate to not be.
Can't you just go
Sick.
buy and took down a bunch of drugs and you're all well?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, one more question.
Uh-huh.
About immunization.
Yes, ma'am. So I have to, Martin and I were just talking about this today. Harry had told me that we weren't contracted with Part B yet, but Martin thinks we are, so we have to look in and see if we're contracted with Part B yet. Because that's who usually covers vaccines, is the Part B portion of your insurance.
Boy, that'd be sweet.
Boy, it would
Yes,
be nice.
no, so we want to definitely get set up to do vaccines, because it'd be nice to do the flu shot every year. To do,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or even just have a clinic, like a mobile thing
Yeah.
that rolls up and can do it if they can't.
Yeah. I got you. I see what
license
you're
or
doing.
whatever you
Yes,
call it,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we can set that up. Most people here would probably be billed to Part B. Like the children, they're billed to their medical insurance, so we could probably, I was gonna look this coming up week, my second week, to see if it would let me bill a claim for a vaccine for someone who's not Part B, and see if I get a paid claim or not, so.
How does GoodRx and some of those things affect?
So they don't work with us, but what I was telling Martin, what I have been doing is trying to, I put the drug in GoodRx and see what they're offering and see if we can come close to that, to match something like that. So you would get a price like a GoodRx price. Yeah. Very competitive cash pricing.
And there's, of course, it doesn't. Well, there's not even a Donald Trump.
Yeah, yeah. So I do plug it in,
Donald Trump
whenever I'm
NRX.
just looking at cash pricing, I will plug it in to the GoodRx to see what someone would pay, you know, if they had that.
That's fair.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you plan to offer vaccines at some point?
That's what we were,
Oh,
I hope
couldn't
so.
hear it from-
I sure hope so, I hope so. So we will look and see if we can, if we're not already contracted with Part B, to see what we need to do to get contracted with Part B.
Who is the other young lady that's in there with you?
Her name is,
Sand
um, I'm just
I'm sorry,
blanking.
what's the question?
My partner, my helper,
Oh, Marjorie?
Marjorie, thank you. Marjorie.
And what does she do? She just.
She's a clerk, so from
Okay.
1 to 5, she just helps bring people up, take phone calls. Anything that's filled, she calls and lets people know it's ready for pickup.
That's a big help for you.
She's there from
Because
1 to
that
5.
was-
1 to 5.
I thought Martin was a kid, but he couldn't multitask.
Yeah,
So it's nice that you've got a helper that can do those little
yeah, absolutely.
jobs.
Especially even just to reach out and let everybody know, hey, these are filled today, it's ready to go.
Yeah, she just does.
Now, I thought I needed to put a little sweet with the salad.
She's very helpful.
She is.
But yeah, I hope that, we get to see you all. And
I imagine you will meet all of us.
I hope so. And then tell everyone you know
Yeah.
that, a lot of people aren't aware that the pharmacy is up and running, so hopefully we can get people to come in and, like Martin said, hopefully we can get it to where it's sustainable.
Yeah, it was just where, at first, they didn't take all of the
Yes.
insurance, so that's
Yeah.
what we need to let people know.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't we wouldn't take it, we weren't accredited with those insurance companies. We have to reach out, get a contract,
Why does that take?
get each insurance carrier to say, okay, we'll do business with you. And then we could do it. I mean, we were doing cash, pretty much to anybody.
Yeah.
But, we had to get them and it took time. I mean, our biggest downfall was we opened in May of last year. And the Board of Pharmacy requires you to be open. We are open, but we don't have one single contract with any insurance company. Well, that's one problem. The bigger problem is, the day you open, you don't even have a registration with the DEA. Well, you don't have that, you can't get any drugs. You can't even order them. So you open the doors, and on the first day you're open, you can't do anything other than fill out forms. I mean, you can't order a drug because the first thing they ask you for is, what's your DEA registration? What's your, I got that yet. So you have to apply for it, and all these things take a week, 2 weeks, a month, 5 months, 6 months, whatever. I think the Board of Pharmacy license took us about 8 months to just get the pharmacy license.
And that's owned, I guess you might say, by the nonprofit, right?
The board, Board
The board, yeah.
of Pharmacy is a government agency. It's
No, but I mean,
California.
the license is held not by you,
Oh, it's
The
held by the
store has to, And then
nonprofit,
I
by the
have.
nonprofit.
by the
Yeah.
corporation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just an employee of the nonprofit.
Yeah, I am. Anything else?
Thank you for.
You're welcome. Call me if you guys have any other questions.
Thank you to the Main Fork Pharmacy, everybody that's involved in it. I know all of us appreciate the fact that we can technically walk up to the pharmacy as opposed to getting in the car and getting your passport out and going to Visalia. Yeah, thank you so much for that, and thank you for stepping up and moving from CVS to the greener side of it.
Yes, I'm happy to do that.
And thank you to Martin and
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, thank you.